Good morning, everyone. This is Jenny with Needlework on the Go, coming to you with the long-promised WIP parade, our second episode of Flosstube. There's so many new things to learn, new skills for me in particular, with all the how-tos, the software editing, etc., and just where to look in the camera, everything. Fortunately, I have my husband to help with the lighting. I think it's much improved this time. Today I'm at our house in LaPorte and looking around. Even though it's a very dull, rainy day this morning, the lighting is good compared to last time. I'm guessing at our house in Westmont, I don't have enough natural light, and so that makes it harder with the lighting situation. I just wanted to thank everyone for your very, very kind comments and likes on our very first episode. It was fun just to see, for the most part, everyone's comments. For the most part, like 99% of people were very kind, even if they were not fans of our music. They were kind in how they presented that. There were a couple that probably could have been kinder, but we're not going to devote much time to those folks. In my view, that's kind of their thing, that they have to work on their skills of how to present more kind comments. So enough of that kind of negative comments, but you know, it happens. That's what happens in social media. I tend to just hit delete and move on. But I'm so grateful for everyone's very kind comments. Speaking of music and the editing, my sweet daughter is so immersed in her senior year of college at Wheaton College Conservatory of Music. Her course load, I think, is probably more than she anticipated. She is very, very busy getting ready for senior recitals, concerts. She's just a busy gal. So I think right now she will be doing minimal editing. That kind of up the game for me of learning software, and we'll see how that goes. I'm taking it as a challenge. It's not something I'm familiar with, editing software, other than, you know, years ago I was familiar with all the Word products, but the video thing is a totally different genre. But there's a lot of information out there. If anyone has great tips, taking all tips for things that really helped you out at the beginning of your Flosstube journey. But I'm grateful for whatever help Rachael can give. I'll be appreciative. She just has a knack for it. And obviously her music skills are better than mine. Music, you know, is such a personal interest, what we like, what we don't like. And I think that was part of the whole thing about the music on our last video. So we're going to curtail it a bit, but you know, we get to pick which music we like. And younger generations are very different than probably how we are. I like a real wide array of music, a lot of different genres. I probably like all music except opera. I don't understand, partly because I don't understand the lyrics a lot of times, so I appreciate the effort and the training that opera singers put into it, but it's not my cup of tea. But so we all have different interests in music. It'll be fun to see what she does. You know, it'll be fun a year from now to see how we have evolved. Let's put it that way. So anyways, I bet you're wanting to know what I'm up to. I'm not going to get into anything in the go bag. The WIP parade is just going to be too long. So we'll concentrate on that today, and then I'm going to come back real soon and show you all my progress for part of August, September. I've been stitching a fair bit, been to several stitchy days. I find that I tend to chat a lot at those, so I don't always get as much stitching done. But we'll do the knitting update and the sewing. There's been some good stuff out there on Flosstube about projects, and yes, I may have hit the button or two for hit buy, ka-ching as they say. But for today, we're going to get right into the WIP parade. I have projects. Some of these go back 2010 maybe. I'm going to start out with anything older than 2019 and older is what we're going to start with. So we'll just dive right in. I call them my Code Red projects, and just for fun, it's my thing. I'm like, oh, if they end up in the Code Red, then that means I let them linger a little too long. I just call them Code Red because it's a fun name, and I simply use a red trimmed project bag. All of my WIPs are in these types of bags. Kits I keep differently. These are true WIPs. A WIP for me is if I have 2 stitches, 1 stitch, it's a WIP. If I started it, it's a WIP. Some are, you know, obviously more active and they get put on the shelf, and that's why you end up with the Code Red status. But that's why I call them Code Red. First up, we're gonna just kind of organize these. I will say putting everything in these projects bags really does keep me organized. I love putting the tags on them. I think I first saw these on Carol the Soapbox Stitcher, these tags. I found some bigger ones and ordered them because these were a little small to put all the info. But I put the name of the design, the year on the back. I will put a hashtag if I'm following on a sale or something. I'll put that on the tag. And if I have room, I will put the fabric name too. So they're very helpful. So when they're sitting on the shelf, I can just look at tags if I'm looking for something. Okay, this one hasn't made it to a project bag yet, but it will because this is going to my go bag, and it's Bender Juvet with thy needle, Christmas at Winterberry Cabin. This is old. I'm guessing somewhere around 2014, 15, somewhere in there. I am working it on a 30 count cocoa. Not a lot done, but some. I gotta get I forgot my project board at the other house, but that's pretty. The fiber is kind of interesting. It's kind of it's got just a tinge of an orange color in it to me, but it's fun. So this one is going into to be finished this year, just the pillow. It's pretty ginormous. You don't think looking at this that your pillow is big as that, but it's a good sized project for sure. So that's going to be left out to the side. Here's another one that's going in the go bag. I've been working on this, I think, since 2016. Yowzy. I love it. I stitch in season, so that's why sometimes it takes me a while to get things finished, the seasonal items. This is from Plum Street Samplers. I'll show you where I'm at. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the angle of my camera. So, let's see here. There we go. It's just gonna take me a little bit. Isn't that cool? I love it. It's big. This is a big, but this is gonna go in the bag. It's from Plum Street, and it was a complimentary design from Paulette, which was very generous of her. I'm gonna show you a picture of the finished. I've seen them done with people have done little individual ones, and this is all in one, and that's how I'm doing mine. And I will frame this. I kind of been starting to scope out the frame, and I probably will pre-order the frame before I even get it finished, just so that I can make sure that I get this framed this year. I want to put it on the fireplace mantle behind me. It's a great one. I get my framing done at House of Stitches here in LaPorte, have for many, many years. So I'll link them in the Dropbox. If they're good at their framing, I enjoy them. That's where I've gone for 30 years for framing. Winter Wonders. I love these little kits. I've bought several of these over the years. It's from Cherished Stitches. This is pretty old. I think, I don't even know the copyright date on 2013. I have finished a couple of them, but for some reason never got this one done. They're fun. They have little, they come as a little kit with your fibers, and I have the deer done. That's it. He'll be pretty handsome, but it comes like with all the finishing fabrics and threads, and there were buttons in this one too, and the silks. So fun little kits. Okay, I have a true confession moment. Yes, I do. I have stitched at least 5 or 6 stockings, maybe even 8 or 9, lost track, of Christmas stockings for nieces and nephews and special people, young ones. I have not stitched stockings for my 2 children. That is pitiful, people, pitiful. This year, my son is going to get a stocking. This was started when he was a little guy, and he is now 33, doing this shepherd's bush Peter's stocking. I have all the trims, the doodads. I am tweaking that. I don't know if you can see on the pattern, but there's like some special, sorry, this is mirroring, I'm covering it up, right there, over here. I'm gonna add, I bought some silver charms. Baseball is one, I think a little keyboard charm, just things that he was interested when he was young, and I will add those to his stocking. But there's no good reason why I'm not done. Look how much I have finished. So fun. It is fun. The pattern is fun. I don't know if I enjoy working with pearl cottons. So you can either do that, or you could use 4 or 6 strands of DMC. But since I already have this, I'm going to complete this one. If I ever do another one, I might just use DMC. But they're so cool. Linda, the former owner of House of Stitches, she did them for her entire family and had them displayed at the shop. It's so inspirational. I mean, there's gonna be like 7 or 8 stockings that she has hanging there. That's a lot of stitching. So Matthew, you're gonna get your stocking this year. Yay! Then we'll get Rachel one. Up next is My Land from Shepherd's Bush. This was a class at Tomorrow's Heirlooms many years ago. I think 2010, somewhere in there. So a long time ago. And at the time, it probably, for me, was a little intimidating because it does have some specialty stitches, but I am going to get this one done for sure. You can see some of that pulled work at the top. I got to meet the designers, I think Tina, forget the other person's name, I'm sorry, but they were fun. It was a lot of fun. Tomorrow's Heirlooms puts on some pretty great retreats, and it's local to me here in Illinois. Pretty silks. I hadn't worked much with silks. A lot of fun. I think there was a button included, I'm not sure. But the cool thing on this, if I can reach, excuse me, I'm going to reach over here and get this, is I have the mat for this one. And it's been safely stored for a long time. And so I went and pulled these out, and I'm using it as inspiration. I'm not sure. I think it goes this way. Look at the beautiful matting. You don't see matting much anymore. But this was all hand painted. So these mats were quite expensive. But I love them, so I'm using it. I got it out today, dusted it off, and I'm gonna have it where I can be motivated, protected, but motivated. My friend actually gave me that one. I didn't purchase that one. She had stopped stitching and asked if I would like it, and I said, you betcha. Who would not want a hand painted mat? And my fabric, I think this was 30 or 32 count weeks, 30 count weeks parchment. Oh, I have another cool thing to show you. I don't know if any of you have ever stitched this one. Time Plies from Drawn Thread. I would say this is one of their very early designs. My pattern is really beat up and tattered. It's been started on different fabrics a couple of times. So I'll show you where I'm at, and then I'll show you I even have the clock. I purchased it, which at the time was a big deal to buy that. Did something goofy. Half of my thread is on a thread thing and half of it's not. So I'm gonna have to fix that because that will drive me a little bonkers now that I'm so organized. But I'll get going. This won't be a finish this year, but this is getting finished the first part of the year. Look at the colorful alphabets. It had you do, if you wanted to stitch it this way, your initials were in a 4-sided stitch, so that was kind of fun, just a little different. This is on 32 count Wren. You will find as we do this WIP parade that Wren is one of my favorite linen colors. It's from Picture This Plus, but this is what's sad. Why have I done this? Because the clock, you guys, is absolutely beautiful. I can't even get this all in it has like the pegs on the bottom, and it's beautiful. It's well made, and so I've had this lingering. That pattern was published in 1998. Yeah, I know. That is sad. That just happens, but now it's going to get done. It will be finished. This is a biggie. All of you out there know Pam and stuff of Just Keep Stitching. And this was Pam's Main from Twin Peak Primitives. This was a download for me. Look at all those fun lighthouses. I'm from Maine. I love my home state. It excites me to see so many Flosstubers now and stitchers out of Maine. I wish years ago that had been a thing, or that I had been aware of them. So, yay Maine. I won't put Pam's Maine, sorry Pam, because my family would think that a little odd. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the word Maine in the middle, and then put the trees on each side of mine. One of my biggest excitement as a kid was that, because my parents did not leave home too often, and we were visiting some special friends and mentors of my parents down in Lubec, Maine. And as a kid, I remember it was so exciting to go to the ocean, and because I grew up in northern Maine, and there, guess what? It cost us as much as everyone else for lobster. We were not on the coast. But northern Maine is very rural. It's beautiful. If you're into hunting, fishing, snowmobiling, it's definitely the place to go. If you're not into those things, I think the closest mall growing up was like, a true mall was like 3.5 hours away in Bangor. And we got to go when I was in band in high school, and it was always exciting because we got to spend time at the mall. But anyways, getting back to Pam's Maine. This is ginormous. I can't get this in the whole screen. So that is a big piece of fabric. It's 32 count French rain, I believe. Yep, country French rain. And so I just have part of it. I had started this a couple times. I was having a hard time settling on the fabric, but I really like this now. And that's where I'm at. Once you block out some sections, it's a good project. It's big, and I use a hoop, so I feel like I'm dealing with a lot of fabric. But I love that, and that will be finished at some point. You could go to Pam's IG account, and I know she showed it on her Flosstube too, but PG Soap, if you want to look that one up finished, because it's quite inspiring. We have a chart from the Heart's Content. These are fun. The kits from this designer are fabulous. At the time, probably a little above my skill level at the time, but that was self-imposed. The directions are fabulous. She literally walks you through every section of her design, all the specialty stitches, well thought out, well planned out kits from this designer, the Heart's Content. I'm pretty sure you can still get her stuff, and I think she was designing. I think she still is designing. I meant to look that up. I know as a couple of years ago she was putting out new content. So beautiful kits. She shows a couple finishes. In the kit, you got like, I'm gonna have to put these on a ring or some. I won't be able to handle this, but you got all the fibers and everything that you needed to complete your design. Just fun. This is 28 count casual, one thread over one. So it's very tiny stitching, but on 28 you really can see it, and if you've ever wanted to try it, this would be great. And she includes like some extra little bits, the needle, beautiful kits, Heart's Content. Okay, let's see. Here's another great project I got from Tomorrow's Heirlooms. Old Windmill Village sewing box and accessory. It is amazing. This one also has a story. Look at the lid and all the, I have the box, the accessories, everything for this one. This one will be finished this year or first part of 2024, I'm hoping. This is a big project. It's big, but it's long. I wish I'd remembered my project board, but there we go. That's where I'm at. And I ran into a problem after I had started. I think I started in the middle, worked that way, and started to work over here, but I got really close to the edge. There's still one more tree there, but I've counted it out and I have enough. But fortunately it is right by the selvage, so when I finish this, I'll have just enough where I can turn over on the selvage and join it, because it wraps around the box. But oh boy, was I sad when I realized that, because I invested a lot in this project. And I would probably do a different linen now. I'm not as much of a fan of this linen. It's a little soft, but it'll be great for finishing for sure. And Tomorrow's Heirloom did a conversion on this one. I don't even know if you can get this pattern anymore. It's that old. So it's older than 2015, I know. That I know. Here's another one. This was a series from Little House Needleworks, and I'm gonna pull up a picture of the version that you can do all on one piece. Pam, I think I saw Kim stitching this one at Tomorrow's Heirlooms, and that's why I want to do it on one. I'll just go through it. ABC Samplers. You can still get this, I'm pretty sure. I love houses. That will also be evident. And I love salt block houses in particular. So those are the designs, and I'm stitching it on one piece. You can do them individually or one piece. And I am stitching it on 32 count Ren. I had that first one. Isn't it pretty? Those colors. I love the color palette. So I hope to get another one or two of these done this year, and I'll keep plugging away on it. I have no plans for this year, but it may get bumped up because I really want to get some of these up and done on the wall. But let me show you a picture, and this I got off the, sorry, the lighting is making it a little wonky, sorry about that, but it gives you the idea. I got this picture off Shepherd's Bush website. You can tell because they had all that pretty painting on their frame. I forget which one of the two gals is the painter, but they're hand painted. They're beautiful. Painting and I do not get along. No matter how I try, I manage to get paint where it's not supposed to go. We have American Grace. This is from Crown and Thistle, a division of R&R. Got this as a kit. Now this is an old design. I honestly have no clue if you can get it. I suspect not, but I don't know for sure. You'd have to check out with them. It's really, I got it as a kit, and it's an old kit. I want to say this goes back, doesn't say in here, there's not a, oh, this, it goes back to 2001. My pattern's all tattered because I had a bad episode with a spilled 32 ounces of Diet Coke spilled into my go bag. Yeah, I'm still traumatized. That's where I'm at. I got this years after 2001. I'm guessing around 2015, but it came as a kit. Love the colors. And there's a couple little buttons, the Jabco buttons on it, and I have the tray. So that will, maybe next year, we'll find out. Stay tuned. We have a Bench Creek, and I just love this. It's not my normal color palette. It's a little brighter and maybe a little more whimsical, but there is something I love about this. It's one of their snapper series, which are a lot of fun to do. So each pattern came with like a couple snaps and a button. Like that. Don't think I am showing these in the order. Here's that one. This is the last one. On the last one, they put a picture of it. But so they all came with that. And then you could do them individually, or you could do it as part of do a border, and then it has a saying on the bottom. So let me pull that up, a better picture. It's not the best picture, but it gives you the idea. I can't really show you that. So you could get that with some additional buttons to go with it and snaps, so that it takes a while to get all those snaps and buttons on. But I'm doing this on 30 count straw from Weeks. That's where I'm at. The first one, the colors palette, it's beautiful, but brighter. And you know, it's just fun to do a long and narrow project sometimes, isn't it? All the pretty colors. Let me show you this was a series that was released. I've cut myself off from series until I get some of these series finished. I start out with great intentions, and I don't know if my iPad pictures are going to show up that well, but that gives you an idea of it. That is on the Silver Needle website if you want to grab a better view of that. Another story on this one. Sweet Land of Liberty from Cherish Stitchers. This pattern was published in 2010. It's been around a long time. I have a couple dilemmas, and each day I feel differently about it. So I'm going to make a decision because I absolutely love this design. My dilemma that I encountered at the time, I am doing it on 32 count dark cappuccino from R&R. And I think, let me see what linen. They called for 35 count parchment from Weeks. So I would probably now use a 36 count or even a 40 count. I've seen a couple of this finished a couple times. Part of my dilemma was I did not buy enough skeins of the over dyed. I bought one skein, yeah, that's not gonna work. So it didn't really say to get more, and at the time I probably just wasn't thinking. But a friend of mine had one of the black raspberry jams that could blend very nicely. I may start this over. I actually do really like it on this fabric, or keep looking for good skeins. The black raspberry jam and cherry wine were not consistent at all in colors. And it now is more purpley, and I needed more of the blue. We'll see. I may start it over in 36 count now. Each time I've done a video and then deleted it, I've talked myself into, I think I may just start over on that one. I'll give it another little while to think about it. Lizzie Kate, ABC Christmas. Her series with the ABC series, always popular. I had this for a while. I don't know the copyright date. I don't think she puts the date of her copyright on there. She is retired, but you can purchase her things out of 123 Stitch online. I'll show you where I'm at. This one is going to the go bag. I'm gonna, get this one done this year. It may not be framed, but it's gonna be at least stitched. I've decided, part of my dilemma is I don't know if I like all the buttons, and I purchased all the buttons, of course, and they were not cheap, but I think I'm just going to stitch all the motifs that she provided in her chart, which was nice. I'm going to let go and just keep going because I do really enjoy what it has to say. It's a fun stitch. So I'm letting go of the buttons. I'm not sure yet what I will do. I may repurpose them, or maybe they'll be in a button grab bag someday here in a giveaway. We'll see. The ideas are churning. Here's another Lizzie Kate. This one won't be done this year, but hopefully next year. I'm working it on 32 count summer khaki. Same thing. I had all the buttons. I'm gonna let go of the buttons. And the kit came with some special fibers. And the other thing that I'm going to change, which I can on this one, thank goodness, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna stitch the motifs rather than the buttons. And I'm also going to change the color palette. Not the brown, but these are real pretty, but they're very pastel. And that's just not my vibe usually. So I'm gonna keep the same colors, but I'm just gonna go darker and more traditional or prim. So I feel good about that. This whole process helped me decide that. I'm gonna tuck these buttons away. We have another one, code red. I think my code reds, I only got a couple more, yay. Shepherd's Bush, love this piece. I'm not sure, I think this was a class, not 100% positive. I got everything at Tomorrow's Heirlooms, or I bought it as a kit. Can't remember. It's been that long. 19 count linen with the pearl cottons. That's where I'm at. This one is definitely going to get a lot of love in October and November. I don't know if it will be done this year, but it'll be a lot closer. And this is done with Weeks wool. So they're soft, but you know, it's just a little different. They're really soft threads. Pretty color palette. And on this one, I definitely want to finish it because I bought the mat and it was not cheap. It's triple matted, but look at that mat. I want above this fireplace right here during Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in our family it's a big deal. For many years, my in-laws hosted, I would say it'd be the equivalent of a 3-day binge party, a 3-day family reunion. We had relatives all coming in. This went on for years that they hosted. It was a big deal. My father-in-law would always have some kind of event plan in Chicago, or he'd run a bus and we'd go different places. He was known, he had like a 3-tier shelving unit that he had all kinds of candy. So of course all the kids and the adults, such as myself, could eat candy all weekend. The garage was turned, we always hoped for cooler weather because the garage was turned into a refrigerator, and there would be long tables of desserts and food, and people started arriving like Wednesday, and there were special things that we did. Dad's family always made bukta. That was a big deal. Friday night, usually we went on a Christmas walk into their town, and that was a lot of fun. And then we'd have Mexican food and dips and tacos and things on Friday night. Pies, dessert, just lovely, lovely, lovely family memories. So I want to get this up. Thanksgiving is special, and this was a very special project. One last thing on this one. I have to show you this cute, it came with some of the Mill Hill ceramic buttons, but the one I really love is this little, look at that little turkey. He's so cute. Put those away. You have to be careful with those ceramic buttons. They do break, so be careful. Ask me how I know that. Heartland sampler from the Scarlet House. This was a retreat at Tomorrow's Heirlooms, and I got to meet Tanya. Speaking of which, I have to apologize. I'm sure Tanya doesn't watch this, but to her friends that might have, I mispronounced Tanya's name last time. I think I said Tanya. I tend to do that. I say aunt and not aunt. In Northern Maine, you don't say aunt, you say aunt. So when I moved to the Midwest, it was always intriguing to me. I'm like, why do they say aunt? That's just so strange, but just funny. So I'm sorry, Tanya. I promise to say it correctly from now on, because I love all your designs and I'll be saying your name a lot. This is, oh, I love this. This is on 32 count. Lakeside. I know it's a lakeside linen. Heartland sampler. It is vintage sand dune. And this was a restart in 2015 for me, I think. Was this a restart? Don't know. I don't know if this was a restart or not. I feel like this was the linen. But look at all that corn. There's a lot of corn on there. It was actually a little tricky to count that because the motifs are kind of free floating. But corn is to the Midwest what potatoes were in my home state of Northern Maine. We always did potatoes here in Upper Illinois. We eat a lot of corn. Corn is in everything. In true Tanya fashion, she always has cute things. Look at this pretty little thread key thing. A lot of fun. a lot of stitching. Okay, I think I have 2 more maybe. Or 1 more. This is the last one, I think. A sweet one from Twin Peak Primitives. It's a freebie. Snow Angel. Look at that cute angel. And this is gonna get finished this year. I'm gonna make just a little pillow and just be done. Gotta reduce some of these WIPs because I gotta make some more. Beautiful fabric. This is one of the first times I ever purchased fabric offline or anything from Luminous Fiber Arts. I tend to buy local, and I'm fortunate because I have local shops that I can go to. I know many people do not, so I've always been spoiled. My dog is a little close here. He's got to slide over, Ollie. Mama needs some room. Trying to keep him quiet so he doesn't see any wildlife in the window or people, so he doesn't start barking. So that concludes the 2020, or I'm sorry, the 2019 and older. We're moving into 2020. And you all will recognize this one because it was just re-released. It was very popular in 2020. The pandemic was full on coming to America, and I remember this because we had challenges getting some of the fibers. I worked for about 3 years at House of Stitches. It was a dream job, loved it, and my legs didn't like it as much, but loved it. It was so much fun. A lot of fun. It is now owned by Sarah. Linda was retired. She'd been in the business over 30 years, I think close to 35. These are the beautiful fibers that Coming to America had. And I did something fun with this one. I, for the first time, decided to try my hand at dyeing the fabric. And I used as the base a platinum. This was 36 count platinum. And I hand dyed it. I can't get it all into the, it's a very long piece. That's a 3-inch border. That's where I'm at. It's gonna get some love this year. No intentions of getting it done this year, but it is going to get some love. The colors for the hand dyeing, it was a cool experience. You should try it. Just, you know, you don't have to do a big piece like this to start with. Maybe I should have been, you know, done something a little more modest, but I thought, you know, I'm all in. I'm going to give it a whirl. And I used Chelsea and Priscilla, the Real Housewives Stitching, I think, their method, and I'll link the YouTube in the notes so you can go. I used coffee and tea, and then it boiled, and you kind of stirred and let it soak, and then you take it out. Get rid of some of the excess. You could lay it on I laid it on cookie sheet. The one thing I would say with this, I had hand dyed several linen. One was Lugana, and I don't stitch with Lugana anymore. It's just not my favorite, so I let that go. We all have our favorites. Nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful, but oddly enough, I don't like the evenness of it, which is weird. But it's a great fabric. Lugana is a wonderful fabric to stitch on if you're new to cross stitch, especially because it helps you with your tension, I think. But I never stitched a lot on Lugana. But didn't it turn out cool? The big thing with this one, for me, I would say as a tip, to take the time to arrange, like you kind of don't like just wad it up and dump it on the tray and then put it in the oven. That wouldn't be my suggestion. But I kind of played and fussed with it and kind of scrunched it up a little more evenly because I kind of wanted some of that modeling all over. And if you don't take the time to do that, you might have a dark patch here and a dark patch there. So just take the time to play with it. It was fun. I don't know if I'll ever, do dyeing again, but it was fun to do it. And I appreciate all the dyers of fabric because like a lot of things, I don't think it's as easy as we like to think that it is. Okay, here's one I'm on the fence. This is from Tanya, the Scarlet House. I love, 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 love the design. I want this on my wall. I'm thinking it's languishing because it's 32 and I'm in love with 32 count. Guess what? Ren. But I'm in love with 36 and 40 count. So I'm not that far, so I may bail. I'll save the rest of the linen. I don't know. Tell me what to do on this one. The fiber, I have enough of the fibers, so that's not an issue. Love the colors, love what it says. The model was stitched on 28 count brash, 1/1. So help me decide. I don't know. This was a birthday start in 2020. This is from Plum Street. The Praise sample. I haven't seen this one stitched a lot, which surprises me. O Lord, thou hast blessed me and kept me through each of my days. In all that I do, I shall give thee praise. The word splits here. Give thee praise. But it's a little different color palette. I invested in the silks. Aren't those pretty? And it's on 40 count. Is it vintage? No, it's 40 count pear. And it's just a baby start. I would love to get going on this. I had a problem because I think there was a problem with the charting in the names and symbols, but a friend of mine helped me decipher it and we got it figured out. But it's a beautiful sampler. Highly recommend that one. I want that one in my bedroom. These colors are, isn't this pretty? I don't know if you can get these. This is like that mother of pearl. I got this years ago. I can't even tell you where I got that, but it's pretty. Your grand old flag is up next. From Samplers Not Forgotten. I've seen this stitched. My friend Michelle stitched it for someone, I believe. Lisa Kindred Stitcher, I think, did this. Not positive. I just absolutely adore the color palette on this fabric, which is Tin Roof. So this is a big sampler. And that's all I have done, way up there in the corner. That's it. So pretty, but these are the colors. So maybe next year it'll get some more attention. It was I think Tin Roof is from Weeks. This house I know on here takes a really long time. We saw the fabric, so the house dominates, so that will not be a tiny little house to stitch. But they're so fun. Houses are fun. Have a sweet little design from Tanya, the Scarlet House. Morning Walk. I love it. Look at that girl. This reminds me so much of my daughter, Rachel. This will be gifted to her. She has long black hair. Well, actually now it's shorter. She got a really cool looking haircut. But it's pretty. I'm doing this on ale, 36 count ale. And I'm going to be giving this one some attention soon. Fun colors. She worked at a doggy daycare business for all through high school and college and loves dogs. So perfect chart for her. See, we have Leela's Studio. think last time I showed you the little sweater ones. These are a very, what's the right word? I also want to say this is like a very good buy, a good purchase for the money of the chart, because you get 4 designs. And at the time, this was like $12.50, maybe a bit more now. But I mean, really, 4 designs in one is fantastic. Look at those. I'm doing this one. I'm doing on 32 count, but dirty linen. But I'm gonna finish this one, and then I will switch to 40 count. And that's what was called for. Next up is truly a very special project. So this must have been sometime in 2020 or late 2019. So I had posted somewhere, it was one of those in search of, or I'm looking for kind of boards somewhere. Or they had posted, I think what it was, they had posted the finish of theirs. And I said, oh, I would, someday I'm hoping to be able to stitch that. That person, so I wasn't asking or anything, but they kindly private messaged me and said, would you be interested in this design? I would like to gift it to you with the proviso that you not ever sell it, which I would never do that. So, or I would not that I would never sell a chart at cost that I paid for, but I would never, I just can't do that. So it's some of the prices that this chart has gone for. So are you ready to see what it is? And now you will understand what I'm saying. It came in the mail, and I actually had tears in my eyes. I cannot believe I'm privileged to be able to stitch this. I'm probably going to reach out to her. I'm still probably got 2 years at least on this. It's been sitting for a while. I had problems finding the fabric, but now I feel really good about it, and I'll probably start ratcheting up the stitching. But that's all I have done on it as part of the flag. I restarted it. I had a good chunk of the flag done, and I just wasn't enjoying the fabric. Look at this, how big it is. This is huge. This is called Lady of the Flag from Mirabilia. I have all the beads and special trims, and I have the original packaging, so I will reach out to that person and ask her what she would like me to do when I am done. So, because I feel that is only right to do that. So we'll see. Someday I made a working copy so to preserve it because it's much in demand. Next up, Stacy Nash Primitives. Little red work pin keep. It's such a sweet one. Cindy C did this one. A lot of people have done this one, but I know she did it on Instagram, Cindy C Stitches. You want to pull her up, and I got a nice little start on that. Love those alphabets. Here's the fun designer that I don't see people stitching much, but I think it's because she's been retired for a while. But if you can get a hold of her designs, they're beautiful. She did a lot of reproduction work. C Street Sampler Works. And House of Stitches used to display all her models. I don't know if they're still there, to be honest. I don't know. That might have changed during the transition. Ruth Ann Russell, and she's local here to LaPorte. She was published a few times. I know she was on the cover of Antique Sampler, that magazine. So, but this one I love. It's Rosine Sampler. It's from 2010. I started this in 2020. I was going to do it as I was going to tweak it because the initials are RB, which is my daughter's initials, as a graduation. But I'm not going to do that anymore. It's going to be for her, but I may add like a verse or a quote to it. That's where I'm at. Love using this ribbon red. It just goes, the variegation is beautiful. That will be done. a biggie. This is another long-term project. Little House Needleworks, Early Americans. Quite a few people have stitched this. Wish I had kept more that I've seen done. Some are currently in the works. I mean, this one never goes out of style, so to speak, or is not dated, I don't think, because history is history. Go through a lot of stitching. I love the houses, of course, and I love the history part of it. I'm doing this on 32 count Picture This Plus Dapple. That's where I'm at. I'll be getting back to this after the first of the year. That's a big piece. Wouldn't it be nice to have it finished? Now, the interesting thing with this is that, well, I'm going to show you how it looks finished. This is Pam's Just Keeps It, her finish piece. You should go scroll through hers on Instagram. She has some beautiful pieces. The colors are totally washed out here. But that's her piece. And she used the border, Vanna Pfeiffer's border, which you can still get on Vanna's blog, Twisted Stitcher. And I will link both Pam and Vanna below. Vanna used some different colors. I think she used blacksmith blue, and then she used an additional red. I think it was red currant maybe. So she changed the red. Rather than taking away a color, I added those colors in, and I think I am going to do the border. I've been waffling on the border, but I think I will do the border. So I'm incorporating 2 additional colors than what's called for. It's fun. That's a lot of stitching on that project. Lots and lots. You can see why I said I've cut myself off from doing any of the monthly series until I get some done. I don't know, for some reason I think I'm gonna excuse the zip. On the prior filming, I probably zipped it back up. This is from Victoria's Sampler. They are retired. And this just also brings up fantastic memories of my children's growing up years. Here in Indiana and Michigan, there are a lot of farms that you can go to throughout all the seasons, but you go to berry farms, you go to farms to get corn. Now it's fall, we go to pumpkin farms, we go to apple orchards. And that's how my children have grown up, is going to the pumpkin patch with grandpa and grandma. And so this is, for me, I don't enjoy the style of the stitching, if that makes sense, but I love the finished piece of it. Michelle of My Finishing Touch finished this piece. We did a stitch along and she totally blew me out of the water, which is typical. I have great intentions, but I eventually get things done, but not in the timetable as many others. But I love this. I'm pretty sure you can still get the patterns as PDFs if you look them up, but you can't get all they were known for their beautiful kits for their threads, because a lot of them have silks. So this was a 3-pack of different silks that are used in this pattern, and I had to keep them on these thread keeps because there's so many of them. But the part that I don't want to do is that pumpkin patch. There's just back stitching. I don't gravitate towards patterns that have back stitching. So. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not my favorite thing. And you know what? That's the end of 2020. So we're making progress, people. My pup is kind of in the way. So excuse me, I'm going to lean over here and lift up this next box. Kind of heavy. We're moving into 2021. We have Freedom Quaker. Love this series from her, Wendy. From the Heart, Needlework by Wendy. It's just a fantastic series. I won't say that I have them all, but I have a lot of them. So, and this is Freedom Quaker. I'm doing on, this is on Confederate Gray, now known as Gray. And that's where I'm at. Just a little start. Colors are fantastic. That's a 36 count. This for sure will come out next year. Again, when I'm in the mood for my patriotic stitching. Excuse me, I'm kind of tossing those. Up next is another one from the Heart. This one's going into my go bag. Look at that squirrel. It's a cutie patootie squirrel. And this is on Beach Brew. Grateful, thankful, blessed. That is how I feel. Not every day, you know, we all have to work on things, right? But it's definitely a practice that I try to tell myself to be grateful. I am blessed and I am thankful. Plum Street, Berry Cottage. I'm kind of losing my voice. I have some kind of little cold brewing. I'm hoping that it's nothing more than that. But I wanted to get this in just in case it blows up into something. Hopefully not. This is sweet. And I mostly did a small start because I wanted to see how the colors played on this fabric. So it's a tiny start. This fabric is from We Will Die For You. And you can get it at House of Stitches. Inspired Needle, they used to be up here local, northern part of Illinois. Look at those colors. So I just wanted to see how they would look on there, and they look fantastic. Inspired Needle moved to Florida, so you could reach out to them. But I love the fabrics We Will Die For You. Shouldn't tell you that because you're going to go buy it, aren't you? No, they're fantastic. I enjoy the ladies behind that team. They're fun. They work full-time jobs and still manage to dye fabrics. Impressive. You'll see a fair bit of their fabric now on these upcoming projects. Heart and Hand, one of my just favorite go-to designers. I always think of her as, her projects are always so happy. They fit in a lot of different decor. They're fun. They're so doable. One of my favorites. That's where I'm at. This was the called for fabric, I think. Yes, I think, yeah, this is Fawn. I know it's Picture This Plus. Yeah, because I think the fabric came in with the kit. It was like, yeah. So, and you have the other little motif. That's a gift, so I'll probably get going on that. Anna Ullman from Leela Studio. This is, I would love to see this in person finished. I've seen it on Flosstube. If I recall correctly, and I could be wrong, but I think Celeste Creates did this one. And I think Kim, the Contented Stitcher, probably did that middle motif. And I know there's a couple other people that have stitched this on my Instagram. If I see them, I'm going to write it down because I want to remember. So you can go look at the finished piece. It's beautiful. I'm doing this on 36 count ballet slipper from Fox and Rabbit. It's peachy. It shows up a little bit, but it's not a strong peach. It's a peachy pink ballet slipper. And I am using the called for thread, which is used brick from Classic Colorworks. I just think that's real pretty on there. This is one I would love to get back to in 2024. I want to do that big bird. I love things with birds on them too. Okay, moving on. This was fun for me because I thought outside the box, and that doesn't always happen. As I'm getting older, I'm just like, I'm just gonna do what I want kind of thing. I'm not sure that always works out the best, but I'm doing, well, let me show you a picture of that design. This is from JBW. Love that design. I love it in the red, actually. And they used it on the, what do they call that fabric? The pettipoint fabric, which it's really cute on there. But I wanted a little different look. It was during November of 2021 for Modern Folk Embroidery. I was trying to remember the name. He did a sampler, black sampler. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to give this a whirl. And I love it on this. This is going to go in the go bag. My go bag's going to be busting out. But some of them will get retired and some put in. This is 36 count oaken, and it's definitely a dark version of oaken. Oaken kind of varies in how dark or light it is. But just, it'll be fun. I'm gonna frame it, I think, in a little black frame. So I'm gonna leave that out because I want to get going on that. Thought it was so clever and creative. Tom Turkey, another heart in hand. Isn't this one just fun? This is coming out to play very soon because 'tis the season. Turkey Day is coming. I've done a lot of her bird pillows. In fact, on my next Flosstube, I'm going to show you some finishes of some of the birds. Behind the scenes, I've had some finishing going on. I pulled them out from the under the bed box, so I'm excited to get those up. That's where I'm at, and I'm using Almost Auburn, which is the called for. So Tom Turkey will be done this year. I say that like it's the truth. That's the goal. That's probably being left out. I can safely say this one won't be finished this year. But it will be worked on. Simple Gifts, thanks. I think I mentioned last time, I love all of their Simple Gift series with the Quaker motifs. Praiseworthy Stitches. And this is on a 30 or 32 count. 32 count Abecedarian. This is a good size piece. I think it's like 16 by 16 or 18 by 18 something. Don't have a lot started. That's a restart because I was playing around with the fabric. I had more done, but I love this fabric now, and the season and everything. And you know, it looks like an autumn kind of thing, but I think when it's done, I'm probably gonna leave it up all year. No, wouldn't it be cool someday if I had no more room left on my wall? I have a long way to go. And right now I have access to two houses for walls, which is quite a bit. A girl can dream. I'd love to get some of these up there. We have a blackbird coming up here. Summer Jubilee. A lot of people have stitched this too. It's been very popular. It's from this book, Souvenirs of Summer. There's several. There were a lot. I think I like every single design in this book. I don't know if it's still in print or available. Don't know. But I love them all. I love that fish. But I am doing this on a 32 count chalkboard, I think. No, black sheet from R&R. So it's not the called for fabric, but that's where I'm at. It's not ginormous, but come in. Can you see that okay? Sorry, there we go. The colors are a little brighter than what I'm used to, but there's something about that on that dark linen. I just love them. These are fun. I've seen these done. Again, my friend Michelle stitched them and did her own finishing because she is a professional finisher. Highly recommend her. I think I mentioned that before. So I'll obviously link her as well. But these are so cute done. And what's interesting with these is they're bigger. They seem ginormous to me, but then somehow when you form them into the strawberry, they just shrink right down. So that's where I'm at. I don't know if I'll ever do all 6, but I certainly will probably do 3 of them. So this will come out. Not because I don't like them, but because time. You know, I have a lot of stitching to do. We go from patriotic in the summer to Christmas. A lot of people have stitched. I absolutely love this. The bells on Christmas Day. Thanks, Steph. Are you stitching this? And just keep stitching. I feel like you are. In fact, I'm pretty positive. She's done a great job. So I started this in 2021. That's all I got done. This one will come out to play this year. I don't think it'll be done this year, but I'll do a good dent. Stitching for me at Christmas, I love Christmas stitching up on the wall and the trees and the whole festive thing. It's a favorite season for me. I love patriotic too, and fall. I like them all, but Christmas is special, especially with the stitching. It just goes well together to me. Another Scarlet House from Tanya. I'm saying her name a lot, so I'm practicing how to say it properly. Isabel Jackson. This was a birthday start in 2021. And I kind of played with the fabric on this one as well, and I'm very happy. They call for 40 count ale. I'm using 36 count mink, and I wanted to get a good start on some of that greens, because the green color was I wanted to make sure it read more green than brown, and it does. Certain fabrics, I think. But look at those colors on there. Props to my husband. I like the lighting so much better today. He worked with a buddy of his at work that is into it professionally, so he made some good recommendations. Isabella, you will come out next year. Softly Walk. Don't look at the pattern because I wrecked it. That was when I foolishly folded them. I was in this thing to keep everything neat and tidy, and that was not good because that's what happens. You can't read the back. That I have a line across, so I will have to be careful. This was one, I don't even know why I dithered. This was started and restarted, and I'm pretty set on it now, but I think I've decided. See how there's like the black thread on top and then the gray? It calls for kind of the gray tone. For some reason I wanted black, but I think I'm going to keep it with the gray. This is on 36 count Meadow Rue, and then I'll probably have a black frame. Love what it says. Softly walk and wisely speak, lest you harm the strong or wound the weak. It's a well-known saying, and that needs to be displayed prominently in my home. Gotta watch our words. They do matter. Prairie Schooler. I will say I have other Prairie Schoolers in my WIPs, but they're in a separate bin, and I just didn't pull them out. Maybe I'll do a Prairie Schooler thing someday. But I love this seasonal. This is a long-term project. This was a reprint. Working on 32 count Wren. Favorite, I just look at that. I got January. Isn't that cute? I started March, and I have a couple other months started. I know I have enough threads and everything and fabric for the whole series. I made sure of that. The one that I'm going to start next is November. I want to get that turkey done. He'll come up in October, November, and work on him. Oh, we're almost done 2021, which is good because we're quite far into this. All W Motif Sampler from Samplers Not Forgotten. This is another one I would love to see in person, the model. This is on the 37 count Legacy. I think this is corn silk. Yeah, corn silk. Got a nice little start on that. Colors are beautiful. Love all that whole floral thing. This would go so well with that Praise sampler I showed earlier in my bedroom with all that floral, peaceful. This one is special, and I'm going to get this done this year by Mother's Day. It is sampler from CW Samplers, which is really Teresa Colgate's line of what you called her sampler. Oh My Bird. Had a bit of a rough start on this from a stitching perspective because I didn't get enough of the fibers. I just got one skein. So I'm learning now, just if I think it's going to need more, I just go ahead and get it. Because some of the, especially some that are really variegated, you really want to make sure you have your fibers. This is special because I'm doing this in honor of my most wonderful mother-in-law that passed about 4 years ago, I think now. And she loved birds. So I will personalize in here somewhere. I'll put her initials, and I'm going to put her years born, the year she was born and the year she passed away. We still miss her. I miss her tremendously. I was very close to my mother-in-law. Loved her to bits. Up next is a Kathy Barrick. I'm really on a Kathy Barrick kick this year. Been stitching a lot of her pieces. And I'm going to show you a picture of it because I didn't print it out. I downloaded this. I bought it off her Etsy shop. Up on the housetop, I'm going to do that, mine in red, but I'm not going to do it in a call for red. I think theirs was a thread silk or thread gatherers. Now I'm going to do mine in Schoolhouse red from, I think it's from Gentle. Look how big it is. You would think it was ginormous. I have 2-inch borders on this. It is not it is definitely not a big piece. And I only have a couple stitches because I just wanted to see if that gold color popped enough for me, and it does. But this is the color of the house. That will definitely get some attention, probably later November. Just fun. She has some really fun Christmas things, especially to me. Scarlet House, a Dutch sampler. I know Carol Saltbox Stitcher has done this, as several other people. I think Celeste has this one done too. Celeste Creates. A lot of people have done this. And it is a fun stitch. I'm doing this on We Will Die For You 36 count sand, I think, or sandstone. Let's see, yeah, sandstone is what it's called. There we are. Got a nice start on this. Colors look pretty. So I will come back to that one. for sure. I can't keep up with that, Miss Tanya. I think I love every single pattern she's ever put out. I have quite the collection. This is just pure fun. This is Sir Dandy from Hands to Work. Absolutely love this. And I am doing this on 40 count flax. I forget what they called for. Creme brulee from R&R 40 count. But I'm doing this on 40 count flax, and I think it's going to be fabulous. I mean, what's not to like about that fun bird right there? That is a bird of many colors. Too cute. And this is my second Hands Across the Sea sampler that I started. And it is Sarah Fletcher. This is coming out. This is really calling to me right now. I want to work on this. So I'm doing this on 40 count cashmere from We Will Die For You. Love this linen. I think a lot of the Hands Across the Sea samplers would look great on this. This is 40 count. It's tall, long, and narrow. Look at those colors. Scrumptious. Aren't these fun? I love these little small ones with the spirals. Her patterns are pricey, but I think the level of study that she puts into educating us about the samplers, the quality of the actual pattern, the whole thing, I think warrant the hefty price tag. So I do make sure that I really love the sampler, because you know, it's a difference when you have a $12 pattern and a 30 something dollar pattern, but I can't complain. But just a wonderful, they're just fantastic. Oh, I can mention too, I'm so excited. Hands Across the Sea, she put out a post about their red box. I think last year was the first year. Guess what? It's gonna be my Christmas gift. I made it real easy for my husband. I can hardly wait for it to get here. I will have to wait. It is for Christmas, so that was our deal. He's like, if you will wait, then you can get that, order it. So thanks, husband. I'm pretty excited about that. We have a fun series from While Iris Naps. I want to pull up the picture first. This is from her website. The spools. I have all the spools. Michelle, a good friend of mine, she got us the spools, and she's all done hers. I know she beats me every time, but I'm working on this one, and I have a little small start. Don't remember the color. I'd have to do some research on this. I think it might be just a Zweigart. I don't think it's a hand dyed. Those are the colors. And each spool I'm going to do on a different color of fabric. So I want to get those spools, rather than having them displayed like this, I want the stitching on them. Better get going. On my prior attempt at filming, I totally got tongue-tied on pronouncing this word. Titellestai. I have to say it slower. I just get all tongue-tied. This is beautiful. I know that both Kim Goldman and of Contented Stitcher and Celeste have done this. Several other people have done this one, but I was inspired by them. That is from Quaint Rose Needle Arts. It was a download. And that's where I'm at. I just have a small start. That will come out this year. Still have, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole thing. I may tweak that one a little bit. We'll see. Oh, I was re-inspired just this morning when I was watching Olivia Pumpkin Hollow Quilts, the Houses of Hawk Run. She's working on this. She's done several of these Hawk Runs. Oh, truly amazing, Olivia. Those are the colors. That's a lot of floss. This is a restart. I had a good chunk of the first block done, but it was on a 32 count using two strands. I had that first block in this corner over here done. I switched because I knew I wouldn't finish it with the 2/2. I'm now on a 40 count single strand. This is all I have done. So not a lot. It's over here. So, but it's gonna look, this is 36 or 40 count vintage country mocha. So, much happier with that. That will be a lot of in-hand stitching for that one because it's just big blocks of stitching. You have to like stitching houses to do that one. This is the one from Blackbird that I'm going to work on this year. This will probably come out in November to work on for November and December. Christmas Rose. It's not that big. I could actually get this one done this year. And it's on a mystery piece of We Will Die For You. I was at a retreat hosted by Inspired Needle at Shipshawana. And they gifted everyone a piece of linen, and this fits perfectly on it, and I love the colors. Kind of wish I had remembered. They probably told us, and I just didn't write it down, and if I don't write it down, doop, doop, out it goes. So I've gotten much better about writing things down now. This is just fun from Hands-On Design. Drop the colors. Look at that rusting beach face. When this came out and it came in the shop, I just laughed. It cracks me up. I'm going to make a little tote bag of some sort as my go bag between this house and the lake house, which is about 0.8 of a mile away. It's where I'm at, excuse me. This is on 32 count pearl gray. The colors pop beautifully. They're bright. They're cheerful. I got to get this in a project bag soon. It'll probably happen next summer because that's me, resting beach face. I don't really go in the water. I mean, there's things and critters in the water. I just rest on the beach, read a book, do my stitching, or knit. Mr. Marshmallow, he's so cute. From Brenda Gervais, We Will Die For You. We Will Die For You. With my needle and thread, sorry. Got We Will Die For You on the brain, I think. And I kind of went a little rogue and really picked out a different fabric for this one. This is, I think this is 36, yeah, this is the mink, 36 count mink. That white just pops on there. And these are the bright colors. Fun. That will come out this year for some work on it. I have the buttons somewhere. I'm going to tuck this one back into the bag real quick if you hear a little crinkle. They're kind of smaller pieces. I don't want to lose them. And we have Peace on Earth from La Di Da. And I hemmed and hawed on this one, but I feel like I have a good plan. This is 30 count straw. I hemmed and hawed because I saw it after I started on 40 count. They call for 30 count straw from Weeks. This is a 30 count straw from R&R that I was gifted at some point along the way. And I've decided I'm going to stay with this over 2. And I love what it says, and a famous quote from Martin Luther King. Oops, I lost. Put that with the bag. And this one will definitely be coming out very soon because I'm going to gift it from Leela's Studio with love. I've seen this framed a few times at the shop and it's just so sweet, you guys. I am going to be tweaking this and have initials and a wedding date on it for my nephew and one for my niece. They're both getting married next year, and I just have a tiny start because I wanted to see how the green looked, and I'm liking it. So this is 36 count. No, this is 40 count, I think. Let me double check. Did I write it down? This is 36 count fawn. So fawn is one of the ones from Picture This Plus that can lean more green or more brown. This has just the faintest hint of green in it. It's, I would say, more brown, but those are some of the colors on there. So that will be fun. Lots of fun family things coming up next year. Weddings, graduations. Gotta save my money. I'm gonna have to curtail my budget for stitching. This is American Trilogy, Shore of Freedom from Twin Peaks. And this also was a stitch along with Pam of Just Keep Stitching. And I tweaked this one a little bit. Had a slow start, but I'm going with it. I was being hypercritical of my stitches. And this is a Old Town, this is 32 count Old Town blend. And I said, you know what? Stop being so critical and just do your stitching already. But I did a conversion to, it calls for DMC, and I did a conversion to overdyed. So if you ever want that, just email me. My info's in the box. But I just pull the DMCs and play around until I get colors that I like. Pam, for hers, she did, and someone before her did it. I think she got the idea. The alphabet all in blue, and I like that a lot, so I'm going to do that myself. I also added a couple extra shades of reds and blues. I wanted a little more variety in some of the motifs. So it's fun. That will definitely come out. I really like that. That balloon on there and the lighthouse are so cool. A sweet little pattern from Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher. And I have a high class bookmark, a napkin. I have a working copy, so this was tucked away with all my issues. I love this magazine. Isn't that the sweetest design? It is so stinking cute. Spring Bunny Pin Keep from Sub Rosa Design. Love it. So that's the design, and I'm doing this on 40 count Vintage Country Mocha. I have the border started. These colors are just Vintage Country Mocha. I have mixed feelings about still. Just depends. I feel like it's a really nice fabric choice for different things. It's not for everything for me, but I do like it. And when it first came out, I did not like it. It was a little too uniform in the modeling, but over time, I've grown to appreciate it. It really is a good fabric. This is also just a lot of fun. I have a lot of these. I have a couple under the bed box ready to be finished. So look at that rack stack. Too cute. This is gonna go in my go bag because I want to start ratcheting up this. I want to stitch this because I love the colors, And I love this. It's called for, it's a 36 count mermaid brew. I want to get this one done. So it is coming out soon. We'll put that on the horizon pile. And this is a biggie. Goodness, we're almost to the end of 2022. Somewhere in there, you guys, we switched from 2021 to 2022, and I didn't mention it. It's okay. This is almost to the end of 2022. You know that I've had this a long time because I have the original format that this came out. His Eyes on the Sparrow from Heartstring. I've loved this from the very first time I saw it. I may, this will probably come out a lot in 2024, but I'm just started to consider the lilies. Maybe I'll just fluctuate between the two because I want both of them. But this one, as soon as I saw it, I remember because I teared up with this one because I had immediate memories of my father, who was a lay minister, and he was a fantastic self-taught guitar player. He loved his 12 string, and he also wrote music and songs. And one of the songs, this was not one he wrote, but the hymn has been around for a long time. But one of the hymns that he was often asked to sing was His Eyes on the Sparrow. So when I saw this, I'm like, that I'm going to personalize my dad's name into it. But this is also a restart like 3 times. I'm very, very happy with this. Sometimes with these big projects, you know, it's not a bad idea to be really content because you don't want to get halfway through. That's all I have. I just wanted to see how the greens, I have all of those. This is also We Will Die For You cashmere, 40 count. It's ginormous. Ginormous. That's how big the fabric is. So I can't even get it all in the screen. So, but thinking of you, Dad. It'll be fun. I think I'm a little sentimental today. I was with some friends yesterday for a day of stitching, and we lost a good friend in our local stitching community, and was a really good friend of mine. Her name was Pat, and so I'm feeling nostalgic because her birthday was this week, and her husband came and visited at the stitching group. So, you know, it's hard when your friends go on. Good memories. Come into my garden. From Blackbird Designs. Now, this was an epic fail for me because this was one of the projects that you could choose for a guild that I'm in. And I just waited too darn late into the year before deciding to start it. So, no, I never finished it. No, I did not. But I will finish this because it's, look at that. This is 36 count sand, I'm pretty sure. From Picture This Plus. No, I'm sorry, it's vellum. Sand is more yellow. Love that. A lot of people, this is a good size. Just this project in 1 year is a whole lot of stitching. It's a big piece. Gorgeous. So that concludes 2022, and I just have a small stack of 2023s that we'll go through. Let me reset here a little bit so that things are not in the way. My pile kind of slid over a little bit. I'm just going to bring this right over here. This is another biggie. A lot of people have stitched this. The Hollowberry Farm series. I love every single one of them. Stacy Nash. And this is one I had started on 30 count, I think. And I restarted it just this summer, 2023. So I'm calling it a 2023 start. I think that's fair, don't you? Even though I've been messing around with it since it came out. Oh, look at that. This is 36 count espresso. Love it, love it, love it. I wish I had all of those holly berries up on my wall. Halloween, autumn. There's one with horses on it. Love it. I can't remember if I showed this on my first video, so I'm going to show it again because I love it. Seaside Tiny Town. I have almost all of the tiny towns now, but if not, I will get them all because they're just fun. Wouldn't it be fun to have like a display of all the drums? And I just have a tiny start on this. This is 28 count creek bed brown. So just a small little start on that. Then I just started this, I think it was in August. I'm very excited about this one, and it's a different, something I haven't stitched before, this kind of finishing from Stacy Nash, the Sarah's sewing bag. So you can actually put a little project in there. Isn't that the sweetest thing? The colors are gorgeous. I'm doing this on a brew. Which brew am I doing? Brenda's brew, which is a little darker. I just have one of the windows started. I'm gonna have to refigure out how this is. I think it goes this way. Just have one of the windows done. The rose will be up here. So, and then the floral motifs will be like that, and then you fold it up and it'll be kind of like this kind of thing. It folds up into a bag. I triple checked to make sure I was starting in the right spot because you don't want to mess that up. But these are the colors, or I won't be able to do a bag. So I have found a lot of things you can figure out. If you make a mistake, you just find ways to work around it and make it your own. You might panic for a moment, but take a breath and it all works out in the end. This I started back in June for strawberry season. Gathering strawberries from Annie B's. Don't you just love that girl on there? She's the cutest little, again, reminds me of my daughter. We used to go picking strawberries a lot with the kids, and she definitely would eat more berries than she picked, but that's okay. That's part of the fun. This is on 32 count Ren. Got a nice little start, fun colors, a little brighter. Come back. My daughter loved her fruit. Blueberries, strawberries, whatever. This is a gift that I'm stitching from Poutini. My sister-in-law has a doggy care business, so couldn't be for a more fitting person. I have a little start. I think I may frame this, haven't decided. Cutest little buttons. Look at those buttons. Cute, cute, cute. Dog lovers. My dog has been such a good boy. Thank you, Ollie. We're down to 2 or 3 things left and we'll be finished. Salt box quilt sampler. Adore this. I have the box. This is how it comes. Look at this box. It's bigger than I thought when looking at that picture. But my husband told me that he could do the painting because remember I mentioned that painting and I do not get along. So that's the box. I have the fun parts. I already kind of have a fabric lining in mind for it. So these are the colors. This is on 40 count. You have to take that into consideration if you want that particular box. But it's just math, so if you want a different work on different count fabric, just get a bigger box. Or if you want to go 56, just get a smaller box. Just do a little math and calculations. Aren't those colors beautiful? This is so fun. This will definitely come out in January. I don't think I'll have time before then, but you never know. The mood could strike me. But that will come out in January. We have a fun one. This is from an older designer. She used to design, I don't think she designs new designs anymore. You and I and Friends. I'm trying to remember if this, a newer friend to me gifted me a lot of the kits from You and I and the designs. I'm trying to see if there's a copyright date on this. I do not see that on here. But oh, here it is on the side, 2002. But I just got this recently, but I have a lot of these now. She has a lot of seasonal ones with houses and flowers. So it came with all the, thank you, Alyssa, for gifting me stuff. That's where I'm at on that. So weird. To the last project, my last WIP. Not to say there's not a straggler here or there, but for the most part, I would say this is 99%. And we're gonna end with the Hands Across the Sea. Mary Wigglesworth, and her name just is a really cute name, isn't it? Again, just a fabulous, well-made, well thought out, lots of information pattern. I love what that one says. Says, let's see, fear God, honor the King. Oh, may I still from sin depart, a wise and an understanding heart. Jesus to me be given, and let me thoroughly spirit know to glorify my God below and find my way to heaven. And then her name. Very sweet. It's kind of in the chart. She apparently couldn't squeeze in all her words, so it's just kind of tucked in. And it's much bigger than I thought it would be, but I'm doing this on a 36 count. I think this is Winter Brew. And I really, let me double check that. Oh, no, I take that back. That, you guys, this is my first piece of needle and flax. This is Dolly Madison. I was at visiting my friend up in Wisconsin, Michelle. We went to Country Sampler for the first time. That was last fall. I still want to go back there. And I got my first piece of needle and flax, and I will tell you, it lives up to the hype. Look at those colors on there. It has a wonderful hand feel. So if that's a thing that's important, if you stitch in hand, it feels very nice. But that will come out to play more after I get done Sarah Fletcher. So that concludes the WIP parade. That was a lot of WIPs. I hope you found things that you found inspiring and fun, and just a trip down memory lane on some of these. They've been out there for a while. So since I've rambled long enough, I'm going to end, and I will definitely be back with all of my other kinds of stitching and my go bag, the knitting and fabric things. I've been doing a few sewing things behind the scenes, and it'll be fun to get caught up on some of that. And each time I do one of these episodes, I hope the technical aspects of it will improve, and you'll stick with me, and that part of it will get better. And I sure hope that things are going well for you, that you're enjoying some form of needlework, and you're inspired by your needlework, and that it brings you comfort and joy and peace. Take care until I see you again next time.